This book is the manifestation of that fascination. Engineering is a vast discipline, but some of its mightiest achievements have been small in scale. Inside all the human-made things around us are fundamental building blocks, without which our complex machinery wouldn't exist. At first glance, they might seem uninteresting. Often small and sometimes hidden, the truth is that each of these elements is an extraordinary feat of engineering, with fascinating stories that go back hundreds, if not thousands of years. During the Renaissance, scientists and engineers defined 6 simple machines, described as being the basis of all complex machines. These were the lever, the wheel and axle, the pulley, the inclined plane, the wedge, and the screw. But today, those 6 feel outdated and insufficient. So I got rid of a few and added some others to showcase 7 elements that I believe form the basis of the modern world. They encompass a vast range of innovations in terms of their underlying scientific principles, the fields of engineering they touch, and the scale of objects they have enabled. Each of the 7 objects I've selected, the nail, the wheel, the spring, the magnet, the lens, string, and the pump, are wonders of design that went through many different iterations and forms, and continue to do so. They have endured ever since their first appearance. As they evolved, as they were combined in different permutations, the complexity of the machines we could make escalated in a cascading butterfly effect of invention and innovation. Every single one of these objects has touched us individually and made an indelible mark on our world. Without them, our lives would be unrecognizable. They have created and changed our technology, of course, but have also had a sweeping impact on our history, society, political and power structures, biology, communication, transportation, arts, and culture. I selected these 7 objects during the first 2020 lockdown in England, in the midst of a global pandemic. Trapped at home, I let my mind roam free, looking around at my possessions and the objects I could see from my window, and mentally, or sometimes physically, deconstructing them to see what lay inside. I revisited the ballpoint pen and saw it built around a spring, a screw, and a revolving sphere. The blender I used to make my baby's food relied on gears, which in turn couldn't exist without the wheel. Before that, when I was breastfeeding, a breast pump allowed my husband to feed our daughter too. The process of IVF I went through in order to make the embryo that grew into her, and the research on creating COVID-19 vaccines relied on a lens to see things on a cellular scale. The protective masks we wore during our short walks and that kept medics safe were formed of countless fibers twisted together to form fabric. The speaker on my phone, through which I could hear the voices of my family and friends, relied on a magnet, as did the Ethernet socket that gave me access to the internet. Even as I thought about larger and more complex objects, diggers, skyscrapers, factories, tunnels, electrical grids, cars, satellites, and so on, again and again, I came back to the same 7 foundational innovations. We join things together. The nail. We need something that rotates or revolves. The wheel. We need power and technology that can store it. Batteries, sure, but more fundamentally, the spring. Magnetism and electricity allow us to manipulate things from a distance. The lens lets us play with the path of light. String gives us a strong material that is also flexible. To move water and keep us alive, we fashion pumps. The invention or discovery of each of these 7 pieces of engineering involved a process of failure and iteration, of having a need, then trying out different materials, shapes, and forms until something worked. To take one example, buildings, bridges,